I will. It's my dog coming in the door. My puppy. Here, back of his head. Hello, everyone, and welcome to North Star Mystical Tarot. My name's Erin, and today we're going to be looking at the question, what does the universe want you to know right now? And you're welcome to pick either one set of cards or all of them. You can listen to the whole thing if you feel that, intuitively, that's the thing to do. Meanwhile, I'll put a timestamp on each one, and I can't wait to dive into this with you. 1, 2, or 3. Ready? Go. All right, pile number ones. Let's get started first with your tarot card. We have the Ruler of Coins, which is a very strong card of stability. The King of Pentacles in the traditional tarot. And then we have from this deck, which is called For Strange Women. And we have Frozen Lilacs. And we have Mugwort. So these are some very powerful plants, and they have very different properties. So frozen lilacs. Lilacs they only appear briefly. They fill the air with their scent, their delicious scent. They are beautiful to look at. They come and go within a few weeks. Frozen lilacs in this oracle deck indicates, the perpetuation of that beautiful springtime love feeling. So it means commitment. Notice how they're tied together with a string, which can tie into associations with the hand fasting ceremony, perhaps. And then we have mugwort, which is all about dreams, the unconscious, the astral realm. And so what I see here is something regarding your masculine side. It doesn't matter what gender you identify as. We're talking about your masculine side, your more intellectual side as well. The King of Pentacles, or Ruler of Coins, is known to be good at giving advice. And so this is the wise part of your mind. Notice the way they've set this up here. We have this beautiful gem, and it's all moving downward, as you see, to the eye, which is looking up at the gem. And then dripping down from the eye is another gem falling into the hand. And so this, to me, depicts jewels of wisdom coming down for you into your hand. So what this is saying is that you are someone who has always relied on your own intellect. You're very independent. You have strong confidence in your own reasoning skills and conclusion. That's not a bad thing. But this is saying, consider also maybe going on a journey. You don't have to take mugwort necessarily, or any mind-altering plant, although this would suggest either to consider that or just to meditate with the intention of going on an astral journey. You don't have to take any plant substances. And let go of the tried and true for a minute and consider. See, the thing about mugwort is that it's not a stabilizing plant necessarily. The King of Coins, or the Ruler of Coins, is very stable. Mugwort, taking you into dreamland, into the astral plane. You have to let go of control to a certain degree and be willing to take kind of a windy road to your conclusion. I'm going to actually pull a clarifier for that from this tarot deck here, the Threads of Fate tarot. Just gonna shuffle through and pull one. So we have 5 of Cups right here. And 5 of Cups paired with Frozen Lilacs would seem to indicate that something that you thought was definite may not be definite. This is a card of release, letting go, disappointment. So this looks like stability, stability, and then on the outside we have release of stability, and here, release of stability. So the cards are actually urging you to be willing to reconsider your conclusions. I don't get the feeling that the message is to completely give up on something, be it a person or project or a life path, but it does indicate some disappointment, some upset of stability on your path. And I still feel that you have ancestors, family, friends. They don't even have to be ancestors, they can be alive in your life, people that you are connected to who can provide support and maybe some wisdom. So you can find alternative ways to get that support yourself and also seek it from trusted loved ones. So let's see, let's keep going here. Let's pull a few more cards, a few more tarot cards. We have the Eight of Swords. Very kind of similar feel. The frozen lilacs, it looks almost like it has a negative connotation. But in the actual description in the booklet, it's just commitment. But on the other hand, I'm seeing some similarities. I'm seeing multiple interpretations of how this card is coming through. I'm seeing similarities between frozen lilac and Eight of Swords, with all of these swords sticking up and down, and all of these icicles. So this indicates, you're being frozen from overthinking, from too much input into your mind. This is a situation I feel that you're in that you probably haven't had to face before, and you just aren't quite sure how to proceed. But look how feminine and beautiful the lilac is. You have this grace within you. And again, I feel very strongly you have support from friends or family or both. And they can offer you more than you realize. And so we're going to pull a few from here. This is an oracle deck called the Woodland Wardens. And let's see what the animal guides have to say in terms of how do we move forward from this situation. So we're going to pop that out. Let's see. We're going to split, just pull one out. We have the quail and the gooseberry. Anticipation. Gooseberry, you see is hidden here in these little, little pockets. And with quail, they hold their position until the absolute last minute, and that's when they take off. And so you got to wait for the gooseberry to come out of this little pocket that it's in and wait for the quail to take off. If you're hunting, you wait for the quail to take off and then you shoot. So anticipation is also about patience. Let's pull a few more. The ram and the dahlia. The dahlia are very fiery, large flowers. In this particular depiction, they look fiery because they're bright orange. And they're also pretty hardy and they last a long time. They have long-term blooms. And so this card, determination, has to do with your staying power. And so because you're being tested to your limits here, you need to remember, what's your foundation? What's your go-to? Where's the true you? Don't get lost in the Eight of Swords, being immobilized by thought. I'm going to pull a clarifier on this one. We have a ladybug and happiness. So what a beautiful spread. I'm going to call this complete on the spread, and we're just going to discuss these cards a little bit. So we have the ladybug and the sweet pea, happiness. Ladybugs are a symbol of luck, and sweet pea were traditionally given as gifts to the host in Britain. So we have here mugwort, this invitation to take a softer, more feminine look for solutions, accompanied by the ladybug, which is a messenger of good luck. It also is said to be a messenger of the Mother Mary, which is why it's called the ladybug. And then paired with the quail, there's all this tense energy, ready to spring. But in addition to that, we also have the willingness to overcome the impulse to want to take off and wait for the gooseberries to ripen. So the essential message here is that you have resources of people, of intuitive methods. Maybe you'd like to walk a labyrinth on journal. You have internal options to find your path. You also have people who can help you, who are here to support you, who want to, and you have your own identity, who you feel yourself to be. Who have you consistently been for yourself? And I have the feeling you've really been there for yourself, that you are reliable, that you know your capabilities. It's illustrated with this card here. You may also be an Aries or know an Aries, since this is a ram. So you may have some struggles, but the overwhelming feeling is that there's far more support than there is lack of support. The support far, far outweighs the problem. So it's just about intuitively navigating your way out of this Eight of Swords and being willing to accept help and advice while knowing you are a potent source of help and advice to others and to yourself. You're very practical, but sometimes you also need to go outside of yourself to solve certain problems. So I think you're doing great, and I hope you enjoyed this reading, and I will see you next time. Hello, number twos, and welcome to your reading of what the universe wants to tell you, what your guides want to tell you. So let's take a look at our first card here. The World. What a great way to start. So this card indicates accomplishment, and it's like a congratulations card. It's congratulatory. It's about victory, and you can see here that the snake is eating its tail, indicating kind of any state of eternity. So this is the pinnacle of the tarot. So you got a good start here. This is the pinnacle, or what I mean by that is it's the final trump card, number 22. This 22nd card, number 21, I should say, since it starts with 0. Anyway, and then we have these oracle cards, Fig and Osmanthus, and the Moth. These are gorgeous cards. So the Fig and Osmanthus refers to luxury, appreciating the good things in life. It's kind of a wish fulfillment card. And then we have Moth, which is a very feminine energy and represents communication with spirit or with guides. It represents intuition. So right out of the gate, we have this indication of you achieving a certain stability and a frequency that serves you. So what I mean by that is you have begun to really master your capacity to manifest. You have a certain wisdom in your heart to know how to respond to the situations in life you find yourself in. And you do so with grace, as indicated by the Fig and Osmanthus. So normally I would pull a few more tarot cards, but I'm feeling drawn to jump right into the Woodland Wardens deck. This is the guidebook. It's a lovely oracle deck. You can get some messages from our animal guides. The first one we have here is the Snail and Huckleberry. Trust in the invisible. So the huckleberry isn't really noticeable until it blooms or forms fruit. It can be abundant in the woods and you might not know it until you see the fruit. And a snail is kind of still self-evident. It's, slow-paced. So in order to trust where you're going, even if it's slow, you've got to have that faith and trust in the invisible. The snail can trust that the huckleberries will produce fruit. And then we've got, I don't think I pulled this one yet in this deck, fairly new. The Antelope and Wheat, nourishment. So antelope, as you know, are nourishment to a lot of predators, and wheat is a staple for human beings. And so they both serve this function of being a source of nourishment to other life forms. And definitely ties in with the fig and Samantha. So it shows that, you are in touch, again, with the rhythms and cycles of life. See how the wheat is going in a circle here? So that you can appreciate and manifest that abundance. And you are being urged to have, even though this is very much a congratulatory reading of acknowledging, your guides want to acknowledge your accomplishments here. But there is also some advice that you can trust in your guides even more. This is why we have this card, Trust the Invisible. And they're saying to draw one more from this deck, just sort of feeling it out. I don't like the shuffle thing. It never works for me. People shuffle live. I don't know if this is going to work. The quail and the gooseberry. So this is actually one we pulled before, and you could see it wasn't necessarily sticking out. But we have the quail and the gooseberry. This was also for number ones. I'm feeling drawn to put this over here. I'm trying to make sure it's still in the frame. It looks like it is. So we have the quail and the gooseberry. I got a feeling for what this means, but I'm going to pull a clarifier. We have Sovereign of Coins. Again, very interesting because it ties in with reading number one. This is the Queen of Pentacles. It's very nourishing. The Queen of Pentacles is wise, and she is balanced. She's very in balance with herself and nature. All, again, tying the same message together. So I was mentioning in the prior reading, this card here, the quail and the gooseberry, anticipation, is also about being patient. But if you tie this in with the antelope, these are both creatures that are hunted. And so those who hunt them have to wait in anticipation before they can actually go in for the attack. And so I feel that this is an acknowledgement again to you that not only have you been very patient, but you can receive more than you thought. If you didn't know what a gooseberry was, you might not recognize that inside these little packets, there's fruit. And quail are also hidden in the brush a lot. And so I see that there's more for you. The Sovereign of Coins, or Queen of Pentacles, goes right into the same message here with the fig and Samanthas of manifesting from a state of grace and feminine beauty. So for you, number twos, this feels like it's wrapping it up. This is a reading of acknowledgement more than anything else. And sometimes we need our spirit guides to tell us this, just to let us know, hey, you know what? You are actually doing great. You're doing so well. And we just want to let you know that. And so that is the message for this. Recognize your strengths, maybe even push to receive a little more, and trust in them a little more. As far as advice goes, that's pretty much what they have to tell you. But of course, the central theme and message being, look at how far you've come. Look at what you've done. Look at what you've balanced. Look at how beautiful the energy in your life is that you have cultivated, and emotionally as well. So good work, number twos. And looks like you have a lot to look forward to. I'll see you next time. And greetings, number threes. So if this is your reading, let's take a look at what your tarot card has to say. We have the Nine of Coins, or the Nine of Pentacles. I realize these cards are sometimes hard to see because they're so reflective, but I just think they're gorgeous. So I like to use them. Anyway, so the Nine of Pentacles is about achieving all that you have set out to achieve. It's a card of abundance, especially for females or female identifying individuals. For the oracle, we have the clock, and we have the ocean in reverse. I'll turn it upright so you can get a good look at it. We have two conch shells and some seaweed. And we have a silver dollar. This was in reverse. I'm going to leave it in reverse. And I'm getting a picture, but I'm going to draw some clarifiers for us to get a more clear picture before I begin interpreting the cards. I just sort of like pull one out. Works for me. I think it works as good as anything else. We have the Seeker of Wands, or the Knight, or actually, excuse me, this is the Page. The Page of Wands, new idea, starting to form a picture here. We have success as the central card, but then we have this new idea, this new venture. And with the clock, you could be wondering, can I do this? Let's just pause it right there, because I'm sensing that there's more talents that you possess than you may be acknowledging or giving yourself credit for. The Ocean is a card representing depth. The ocean represents emotional depth. It could also be the subconscious, things that are unknown. So it's like you feel a little bit pressured. Maybe you feel like it's not the right time in your life to start something new, or maybe you're wondering, can someone, is it too late for me to make changes? Do I have enough experience? And, all these questions are coming from a place of not knowing, like you just don't know. You don't know what you don't know. And that can make it a little bit intimidating, because you already have all of these accomplishments. And you're like, okay, do I need to start over? Do I need to start a new path? Do I have time to succeed if I start over? Lots of questions I feel coming through on the subject. So I'm going to pull a few more from the Strange Women Oracle. That's this one right here. I'm going to give it another shuffle. And we're going to pull some clarifiers for some additional information. We have snow. So this could refer to a new event that changes your perspective. The way when you wake up and you see a fresh blanket of snow, and you wonder, okay, depending on where you live, do I still go to work today? It might change your whole day. Regardless, it changes the entire landscape around you. So it could mean fresh starts as well. It feels very similar to the Fool card in the tarot, fresh starts. And it's asking you to take a certain purity and innocence, an attitude of innocence into this process, and to have your own back rather than assume that there's this huge ocean of knowledge and experience that you're lacking. And that's what I feel like this is. It's a fear that you are lacking. Let's pull a few more. You gotta have some confidence in your passions and visions. We have the High Sage. We have these two moons crossing over each other. It's also a card of spirit, and would seem to be a wisdom path as well. We have the moon cycle. We also have the triangles pointing down, indicating Earth. Okay, I'm going to pull a clarifier on the High Sage. We have the Conqueror of Coins, or the Knight of Pentacles. I love how they put symbolism of Earth through the roots. Okay, so definitely you're going to want to get to know some experts and befriend them, and trust that people want the best for you and are going to want to help you. I think a lot of times we succumb to this belief that when we're new to something, we might have a little bit of imposter syndrome, that we're a burden, that we're just annoying people. But I feel that these two cards represent people who have done what you want to do. The Wands can be a very entrepreneurial deck, or excuse me, suit. I just feel like you've got this new business idea, or career idea, or maybe artistic idea and you've already kind of accomplished a lot, and you've stabilized in this accomplishment. And that's kind of who you conceive yourself to be. And then boom, this new idea shows up, and suddenly you're wondering, oh gosh, like, am I capable of adding another another piece to this picture? Well, why not? You know, I feel with the High Sage and the Conqueror of Coins, the answer is yes. The Knight of Pentacles, you could see them as bringing home, bringing home the return, the material return on your new project, the the ability to execute it, the money that you earn from it, and all the structures in place. I feel like that's even triggering for me to say making money, because there's already this fear: can I do this, or am I an imposter? Do I succumbing to that imposter syndrome? You're not an imposter. So let's see what we got. A prairie. This card is very much about, in a sense, mirroring the snow card. And it also feel like, number 3 is that your personality is very creative. So we have this beautiful swallowtail butterfly flitting from flower to flower, which mirrors this card, all of these different interests and accomplishments represented by the 9 of Pentacles. That you follow what interests you. Don't be afraid to do it again. I feel like there's a little more encouragement or confirmation to come through for you. Oh, I apologize, I didn't realize that was out of frame. Okay, there we go. So let's see what we got. Perspective. Oh, how perfect is this? Kind of funny, they put a chair on a flower, like, what is that? But it's just about taking a different perspective, taking a pause, taking a break. Who would ever think to put a chair on a flower? New perspective. So take a time out with no pressure, okay? And think without a lot of goals, like just daydream for a bit. Without thinking about, okay, well, will the world accept me if I start this new idea? And, just flow with it. And I think you'll meet these 2 individuals who are going to be so helpful. Eventually you'll be able to dip your toes into this ocean of the unknown. And the ocean is our source of water. So much of the cloud cover on the earth comes from the ocean and rains back down and gives us water, which then comes back as snow or as a beautiful prairie. So your subconscious, though what you don't know might scare you, as long as you take it easy, you can allow the natural process of the unconscious becoming conscious and then giving nourishment to your life, represented by the prairie card, and new perspective, represented by the snow card. Violets. Violets. I can't remember what it means. I'll have to look it up. Violets means represents your family, unconditional love, and forgiveness. So I feel that this indicates that these 2 cards, which I feel represent people who are going to be advisors to you, resources, helpers to help you flesh out your idea, they have a soul contract with you to help you. But this isn't like a soul contract in the sense that you have to do this. You certainly don't have to. You are, again, a creative person. But it's safe to venture forth. That's the message. Nightshade. So that would seem to indicate, oh my gosh, like, what if someone steals my idea? What if someone betrays me? Because it indicates like something toxic. And so there could be this violets also represent forgiveness too. So there could be some kind of baggage from the past that would be very helpful for you to overcome. Specifically, I feel this is baggage that creates an obstacle in your self-confidence and your self-worth. And that if you can learn to overcome that, it'll be so much easier for you to be able to proceed on your path. So all of this is happening for your benefit. Don't be afraid of it. Don't feel bad and don't succumb to the negative energy. Now is the time to, seek advice, take new perspectives, and challenge any thought that takes you down. And try to take at least 2 or 3 steps forward on this path that you're feeling inspired to follow. So I wish you the best, number 3s. Thanks for trusting me and stopping by. And I will, my dog coming in the door. Come here, Kitty. My puppy. Here, back of his head. Anyway, thank you again, number 3. And I will see you next time. God bless.